welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I am your host, Christina. I am so delighted, super excited to have the most beautiful, amazing, epic human being, Jo Worthy. Thank you, beautiful, for being here.
Thank you, Christine. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
I just love you and adore you so much. I think what you're doing is just amazing.
Oh,
So yeah, I know that we've had a really good chat before we've hit record. So I know we're going to have so much to talk about today. But before I get carried away, I'm going to hand it over to you, beautiful, to introduce yourself to our audience.
so hi everyone. I am Jo Worthy, and I am a multi-published author. I'm a motivational speaker specializing in women's empowerment, and I am the founder of the Worthy Women Movement. So
Oh,
that's a little bit about me.
I know. Hey, this, one thing I absolutely love about you is the fact that how you uplift everybody that is in your proximity. And I think
Oh,
it
thank
takes a
you.
very special human being to be able to do that because obviously you've had experiences in life. And probably, I'm making an assumption here, but you've experienced that where you haven't felt that before. So you want to give that to others.
Absolutely. And look, that is a beautiful observation. And thank you so much because that's part of who I am. And also part of the mission of the Worthy Women movement is to uplift women, is to
Mm.
celebrate with, and collaborate with other women and to really lead the way because unfortunately, there are so many women that struggle with that, people. But I talk about women because I only work with women at this stage. And so many women struggle with supporting and celebrating other women. And you're absolutely right. There have been times in my life where I've just had to step in and be my best cheerleader
Yeah.
and really, really not wait for other people to acknowledge and support me. But I think when you get to a stage, and I was just also saying what a beautiful community that you have also built, Christine, with your beautiful tribe and the support and the loyalty that you get. And I think I'm starting to get there, but it has been a journey. And there are times where I've had to, because I talk a lot about courage. And I tell you now, we get a lot of lessons around what we teach. So I have a lot of lessons around stepping into my own courage because that's what I teach and inspire other women to do. And many, many, many times in my life and my business, I've certainly had to step into my courage. And even at times where I haven't felt supported, it's like, Jo, just keep focused, stay on your path. It's like that eye of the tiger and just be who you are. And the right people are going to eventually align with me
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. I always say to people that when you're looking to work with somebody, find somebody that's got the experiences because you can learn things from books and all that sort of stuff. But somebody who's gone through something and come out the other side, sometimes even whether it's a negative or a positive, outcome with it, they've gone through it. So they can give you that first-hand experience. It's almost like we go in the trenches with them, opposed to
Yeah,
like giving them the ladder. Like we're
yeah,
actually in there helping them.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you have experienced, like obviously been in business for all these years, that is sort of like a lasting memory that you want to make sure that everybody gets this, like gets that experience from you?
Oh, look, can I just talk about I suppose it goes back to the Worthy Women Movement mission now, and I have like 6 pillars,
Yeah.
and they are mindset, courage, confidence, visibility, self-care, and creativity. And everything that I teach fits into one of those 6 categories. And so we start with the mindset. And then I want to encourage women to really step into their courage, which then gives them the confidence. They all blend so beautifully together. And to allow themselves to be more visible. I'll talk more about that in a moment, and to make sure that they're stepping into their creativity and igniting that inner fire and also prioritizing their self-care. And if they can bring in those 6 elements into their life, it will completely change their life and their business. And I don't teach anything that I have not experienced myself. And with the
Yes.
visibility, particularly, I really learned that women in business need to be more visible
Yeah.
and stop hiding away and get out there. And I'm particularly passionate, as I know you are as well, with the writing and the speaking and providing those opportunities for
Mm,
women to be able to do that. And that's a big reason why I create a conference and other events, is
yeah.
to give a platform for other women to step up and be noticed and shine. And speaking, let's face it, writing and speaking are two of the best ways to become more visible.
Absolutely. I literally did a post today, telling people like, if you want to be seen, you've got to get visible. And that means you've got to share about yourself. And,
Yes.
the more actually, the best views that I get is the behind the scenes stuff or me taking the dog for a walk. Like, I get more views on that than, business stuff because people want to know about you as a
Yes.
person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's who they buy from. They buy
Yeah.
from the person. And we
Well,
forget that in business.
yeah, yeah. And look, my journey, like I'm pretty upfront about my journey too, and the challenges that I've been through. And here's a woman who couldn't even put her hand up to ask a question, never mind get up on a stage.
Yeah.
But what I did was I changed. I changed my mindset and I just kept stepping into my courage, even though I was so damn scared. So, to any woman that is listening to this, like if you're in business, I want to see you become more visible. I want to see you step up on stage. Even if it scares you, just keep doing it because it took me quite a few years. I started to volunteer. I started to step into my courage and first put my hand up to ask questions. And then I started to volunteer on stages, even when I was scared. So this
Yeah.
is my biggest probably message is just keep volunteering and keep stretching out of your comfort zone. I call it your courage muscle. Just keep doing it and stop
Mm,
worrying about whether people like you, whether you're perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. And
yes.
and the right people, and this was a big one for me and a lot of women that I've worked for, is that we want to be liked and accepted by everyone. And it's not possible. And when we actually just go, okay, you either like me or you don't. I'm going to keep on my
Yeah.
path. I'm going to keep doing what I do, share my wisdom, share my story and my life experiences. And you're either going to align with me or you're not. You're not. It's this enormous freedom. And I know I spoke about that in the article this month in your corporate
Mm,
Escapist magazine. It's like really step into that freedom of not
mm,
worrying and feeling like you have to fit in because for many, many, many years, that's what stopped me. It's one of the biggest blockers is wanting to be liked and accepted by everyone.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, I guess so many of us is like going, well, how are we going to find clients if we're not liked? But the right clients is what you're after because
Exactly.
you don't want to work with absolutely everybody because they're not going to be your ideal clients. And
Exactly.
it's very hard, and I think it just takes that experience and just sort of like going, okay, well, who do I want to work with? Sometimes you've got to experience the not so good clients or the not so good
Yeah.
things in life to work out
Yes.
what you don't want and to focus on what
Exactly.
you do want.
And when we start up leveling, we do attract different types of clients. Like,
Mm,
I don't know, I think that we all want to work with people that are that help us feel inspired as well, because our
yes.
clients, we're inspiring and motivating them, but they're also doing the same with us, as long as they're not a very that they're unteachable, uncoachable, they have a
Yes.
really, really bad attitude, they're not prepared to put in the work. I don't want to work with women like that. I
Yeah.
want to work with women that are action takers, that are prepared to make the changes like I was and get things done and stand up and step up, be seen, be heard, and make a difference in the world because everyone, everyone has this powerful story and experience to share. And, there's
Mm,
no one better than anyone else. We just have to own
yes.
what we've got and have the courage to step up and go, this is me. This is
Yeah.
what I know. This is what I've experienced, and inspire and motivate other people with what we've been through and how
Yeah.
we've come through the other side.
Exactly. It's like the journey. I was interested because I was having this conversation just previously, and
Yeah,
I said to people, like, when we go through things, whether it's good or bad, they're all lessons. And it's
exactly.
not until we can feel those lessons can we
Yes.
truly experience everything and
Yeah.
have the gratitude for the ups and downs as well.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I used to just sort of deflect. I didn't want to feel angry. I didn't want to feel sad. But now I'm like going, you know what? Like I might be sad 5 minutes and then the next minute I'm laughing and happy. Like my emotions will look, it's like a volcano some days. It's like up, down, like am I going to erupt? Who knows? But you have
Yeah.
to feel everything. And I
And
think that's what business owners forget to do. They forget to do the feeling side of things.
absolutely. Or we'll just get so busy and we'll go on to the next shiny
Yes.
project. And on that note too, we don't celebrate enough of our actual
Mm,
milestones and what we're achieving. But
yes.
also with the lessons, in regards to the lessons, what you're talking about, I always say, turn your lessons into blessings.
Yeah.
Maybe not immediately. Like, if you're angry, allow yourself to feel that anger, that frustration, but I say to my clients or people in my world, in the Worthy Women movement, just get it out. Like, if you've got anger or frustration in your body, sing it out, dance it out, write it out, speak it out, just move it, move your
Yes.
body, get it out. But like,
Yeah.
acknowledge all those different feelings. Like, that's a misconception to think that we have to be always so positive and not
Mm,
feel. Like, I'm really into authenticity. And if I've had a bad time, a day, whether it be a day or an hour or a
yeah.
couple of weeks, it's like I'm real about it. It's like I've been having my challenges. Like, I'm not perfect, whatever that is, but it's like being real. And you're absolutely right. People are going to connect more with you when you're
Yes.
totally real. We still want to keep inspiring and motivating when we're in a leadership role, but also to be real and tell people about the challenges that we have. And we all have them in different ways, shapes, and forms, but it's so important, you're right, to learn from those lessons rather than just stay in the pain of it. Like,
Yes.
what have I got to learn from this situation?
Yes.
How can I do things either differently, or how can I move forward with, in my case, a bit more grace,
Mm,
and just, yeah, and not stay in the pain of it and let it block
yeah.
my awareness and my ability to move through it with, like I said, with grace
Yeah.
and calmness and peace, which is sometimes, when you're also a fiery type of personality, which I am,
Yeah.
I do have to remind myself to just sort of ground my energy and say, Joe, one of my favorite sayings is, Joe, it's going to be okay. Just ground your energy, take a few deep breaths, think about where I can change, how I can change how I react to things, because we can't change other people, right? But we can change
No,
the way we react.
exactly.
And
And I think a lot of people forget, they see one side on social media. They
yes,
see all the outcomes or they'll see the
yeah,
progress, all that sort of stuff. But it takes a lot of internal work. It takes a lot of positivity and, like you're saying, like being your own cheerleader, like going,
yeah,
hey, I'm the coach today. I've got to coach myself, like just to even get out of bed, like,
yeah,
because it's tough.
exactly,
It's tough
exactly,
because you make a million decisions in a day as a business owner,
absolutely,
regardless of just not only your life stuff, but the business stuff. And a
yes.
lot of people don't give themselves enough grace for the decisions that they have to make as well.
Exactly, exactly. But that's why I talk about courage too, because like, if you're a person in business, how many times a day, week, month, year do we have to step into our courage? We need to get out of our comfort zones to expand.
Mm,
Otherwise, we're not learning, we're not growing, we're not evolving, and we're not expanding our
yeah,
businesses. So it's
yeah,
about really, that's why courage is so important when you're
yeah,
in business. And to really have those days where you're listening to your body as well. Like, there are some days where it's a low vibe day. And it's like, I don't want to be seen today. I'm just going to withdraw and I'm going to do some inner work. And maybe I'm going to do a meditation, and maybe I'm going to go and get a massage, or maybe I'm just going to journal. But we need to listen to our bodies. And then there's those days where we just want to be out there and become more visible and promote our business and want to step up on stage. But I think it's important to know that our moods and well, yeah, our moods vary depending on our cycle as well during the month. So I've learned, as a more mature woman, I've learned to listen more, closely and listen to my body. And if it needs to rest, I rest.
Yeah.
And I think about my schedule because being such an action focused person, and I think that you are too, sometimes we can overschedule and then we are exhausted. But we're in charge of our schedule to a degree, aren't we? And it's like,
Yes.
Joe, stop putting so much in your calendar. Pace yourself and have those times where there's no clients, for instance. Like for me, it's like 2 days a week I see clients. And the other days I might do a promotion day.
Yeah.
I have a plan. It doesn't always, sometimes you have to adapt and be flexible. And I have my days where I go out networking and socialize, and I have a networking plan as well, because that's part of becoming more visible.
Yeah.
So I just think it's important to listen and to plan our weeks so we don't burn out and we
Yeah.
don't become overcommitted and underdeliver. I'd rather actually overdeliver always than certainly underdeliver, but we still have to watch that we're not overgiving. As women, I think that we have a tendency to want to actually overdeliver to
Mm.
the point of exhaustion. So we do have to listen to our
Yeah.
bodies and just adapt.
Yeah.
We're not
Abs-
machines. We're not machines.
no.
And we need to come back into our hearts, into our intuition, and really as a woman, stay in our feminine space as well. I know we need the masculine to get all that stuff done, but we need to really have that beautiful feminine flow as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. How important is it? Like, I know you and I are very similar. Like, our tribe is essential. But
Yes,
I think a lot of when I first started in business, I underestimated how important that tribe is.
yes. Because I think we can be we're so independent and we're very capable to do things on our own, but it is so vitally important to have that community. And I talk about this with the Worthy Women movement. Part of the big mission of the movement is for women to come together and collaborate and celebrate and connect and feel like they've got this safe space. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to build a community where women did feel safe, and that's one of the reasons why I have the annual Rise conference, the Women Rise conference that's coming up. Oh my goodness, just in 5.5 weeks. You know what that's like when you're running an event and it's like
Yeah,
the countdown. And I want women to feel accepted and welcomed and celebrated. And I love the fact there's so much diversity in the Worthy Women movement as well. Like
yeah,
whether or not it's great to actually have other women in business, but you might have a job, you might be retired, you may be in between jobs. Every woman is welcome and celebrated. And when they come into the Worthy Women space, I really hope that they feel that. And I
yeah,
think it is so, and you're absolutely right. I think it is so underestimated that we need that. It just brings more joy and a beautiful, it's even hard to put into words, but that's when the magic happens. When women come together, it doesn't necessarily just happen, but when they feel supported and celebrated, that it's in itself is very magical.
absolutely. The flip side to that is the ability to receive it. And that has been
Yes.
something I've really struggled with. And
Yeah.
it hasn't been probably for, I would say, the last 18 months, I've learned to really receive it.
Yes. That's that's such an important thing because so many of us are so used to giving, 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 over giving, and we have to step into that, being able to receive. And that's part of it. That's part of our self-care is to actually go, you know what? I can't do everything. I don't know everything. I can't do everything. And I want that beautiful support of other women as well, because really that's how we all rise is
Yes.
through that support and that connection and that community. And we don't know everything. We need that extra support. I mean, let's face it, as a solopreneur, it can be a lonely space.
Yeah.
Unless we're getting out there and connecting with other people, like-minded people in business that can uplift you, not drag
Yeah.
you down, uplift you. And that's also why I think that networking is can be incredible too, because it can be very lonely and we can't do everything and we don't know everything.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I would say about the networking thing, and this is also why I started my own networking, is that I wanted to be really cautious of who I brought into that circle as well, who I gave my energy to.
Yes.
And I think that's also, we're coming back to the whole tribe thing. And
Yeah.
that's why I always say to people, go to multiple networking things, find the tribe that's going to connect. It might be one, it might be multiple, and that's okay. But find it and be true to you. Because if you're stepping into a room where you feel out of place, you're not going to shine the best.
No, and I think that's where we need to use our intuition and really feel into it. I mean,
Mm.
give it a go, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't feel like you're aligning with the people there,
Yes.
don't find another, like you said, find
Yeah.
another place where you do feel celebrated and accepted. Because that, in actual fact, it can have the reverse effect. If you go into an
Mm.
environment where you don't feel accepted and
Yes.
liked, not that people even really usually know you, but they make a judgment, it can actually have a detrimental effect on your confidence. So
Yeah.
it's really beautiful boost for your confidence when you're around other like-minded people and being really conscious and aware and cautious of who you do let into your circles as
Yeah.
well. Whether it be personal or professional, I think
Yeah.
it's really, really important. I have a very, very strong intention when it's a Worthy Women movement event that I will attract a certain type of woman. And the
Yeah.
women that I've attracted and the way that they connect with each other and the way that they feel when they leave, for instance, the Women Rise conference, it's even hard to describe. And I'm sure that you've
Mm.
witnessed it with your events too, Christine, that
Yeah.
it's just women can be really what's the word? Be so more feel so much more confident if they're encouraged and they're in the right
Yes.
environment. They can actually blossom. Blossom was the word.
Yeah,
And they're
absolutely.
around that beautiful energy. And it's really important to me too that every event that I do run that we have that energy there
Yeah.
and women do feel like they're accepted
Yeah.
and
Let's,
celebrated and welcomed.
yeah. I love it because like I get energized of other people's energy. Like I
Yes.
literally, if I'm in a funk, I've got a couple of people who I know I need to be around because
Yeah.
it will light me up. And it's not even just always in the like go out for a coffee, it just be just a text message from them or something like that because the energy is so potent from them that you just automatically feel lit up from
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah, it's the best feeling actually. And I think
Yeah.
when we start becoming a little bit more discriminating and we start using our intuition, we can set stronger boundaries and we can actually,
Mm.
as we work on our own self-worth,
Yeah.
and what we actually and what we sort of think that we deserve, it will attract a higher level of people in your life that do like you and celebrate you rather than the reverse. So it's all about doing the inner work on ourselves first and we're like, it's all those energetics and it's like being, like that magnet for great people in your life. And
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you could be, you could be very, very experienced and have a lot of lessons and wisdom. Doesn't mean that occasionally, someone will come into your life and go, wow, as a little reminder, maybe of how far you've come, maybe how far you've come with your boundaries. And I'm talking about someone myself who had very little boundaries and felt a lot of lessons around disloyalty and not feeling supported to actually starting to think, well, Joe, I need to change. I need to actually change, work with my own energetics and my energy because why am I attracting this
Yeah.
in the first place when I
Yeah.
don't really feel that I deserve that? So I
Yes.
had to start with myself and ask
Yeah.
those hard questions and be very honest.
I love
How
it.
can I change this? How can I attract more amazing women? And when I did that, I did actually start attracting more women on a better women. When I say better women, just women that you align with, because not that any of us are better than anyone else, but just when I started changing and making those incremental changes within me, then I actually saw the very pivotal changes and profound changes with the type of women that I was attracting, both professionally and personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your upcoming event because I'm
Yeah.
super excited. Do you want to let everyone know, like, what is the purpose behind it? Like, what is the why behind it?
The why behind it is sort of like what I said before, but with other layers. It's really for women to be able to come together in a beautiful event that is still very feminine, doing business the feminine way, not feeling pressured to purchase a high level product at the end and be manipulated all weekend, to come into this space where you just feel, yes, you're going to align with some great women there, and maybe you want to work with them, but it's just in this beautiful energy of when women do come together and celebrate and collaborate and connect at an authentic level. So I really encourage that. And that's the feedback that I've got from the other conferences that I've ran. So it is that. It's about women coming together and celebrating and collaborating and connecting and not feeling so alone and feeling accepted. It's about women having that opportunity to step up and speak. So there's actually 9 other speakers that have the opportunity to showcase their own businesses. It's for women to really, it's called the Women Rise Conference, and it's called the Women Rise Conference so you can actually start to consciously understand where maybe the gap is in your life and where you need to rise. And whether that be, and I talked about the 6 pillars before, whether that be in your mindset, whether that be in your courage, whether that be your confidence, whether that be your creativity, whether that be your visibility, or whether that be your self-care, or maybe it's a combination of those things. So there's a real emphasis on women really going, oh, I'm in business, but I need to be more visible. Oh my goodness, I need to show more courage. I need to set some more boundaries. Oh, I'm feeling a bit flat with my confidence. What can I do to feel more confident?
Mm.
So there's a lot of business. Well, when I say there's a lot, there's actually a bit of business strategy and a lot of personal development and a lot of inspiration and motivation for women to go to their next level and whatever that means to them and to rise. That's what's called the Rise Conference, to rise to their next level, their level of greatness.
Mm. I am so excited for this. I'm going to be there on the day, the
I'm
two
excited.
days that it is. So excited for it. And like I said, like I absolutely love what you do. I love what you stand for and everything. But I wanted to ask you just a couple of other questions because obviously along your journey, what has been the one thing that you've discovered about yourself?
Wow. That I'm so much more courageous and resilient than I
Yeah,
ever thought. And it goes back to that for everyone, we are so more powerful than what we think we are.
yeah,
And I often quote Marianne Williamson at my keynotes, at my events. It's like, who are we? Not to be, we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, talented, gorgeous, or fabulous? But actually, who are we not to be? And it's about owning all those parts of ourselves and going and being proud of our achievements or
yeah,
being proud of the person that we are and really moving forward and staying on your path.
yeah,
And this is one of the biggest lessons. Don't get distracted by all that white noise. Don't get distracted by people trying to tear you down.
yeah,
Don't get distracted by the people that don't like you. Concentrate on the people that do like you and celebrate you. And just keep doing your beautiful work and getting it out there in the world. And stop worrying so much about the judgments and just do it. It's like that's what gives you confidence by actually doing the work, getting up
yes,
on that stage, writing that book, writing that chapter that will boost your confidence, not just going, okay, I believe in affirmations and the law of the law of the, what's it called? The
law of
oh,
attraction.
law of attraction. I think I had a blank.
Yeah,
Law of attraction, but we've got to do the do. We've got to put the action in.
yes,
And it's just
yes.
going, even if you don't believe, just keep doing. And then eventually you go, oh my God, I actually did that. How often do we
Mm.
look back on something that we did? I ran my first event, I ran my first retreat, and I go, oh my goodness, I actually did that. Oh my goodness, I wrote that book. I wrote those, created those anthology books. I,
Yeah,
I created online programs. I created events.
yeah,
And every time I've had to step into my courage. Every time you've had to step into your courage with all the work that you're doing as well, Christine. It's like people think, oh, maybe they think it's easy for us, but we've had to put the work in. And we've just
yeah,
had to keep stepping into our courage and learn those lessons along the way, but keep so focused on our path because I think so many women lose their confidence. They get into the FOMO, they get into the imposter syndrome, they feel a bit flattened,
yeah,
and then they give up.
yeah.
And I'm here to say, don't ever quit on yourself. Don't ever quit on
Mm.
your goals and your dreams and just stay focused. And like I said before, even if you have to use music, I use music at all my events because I think it so helps women to sort of shift their energy, to raise their vibration, have some fun. And even if you have to play songs to get yourself out of that funk, like Eye of the Tiger or Brave, which is one of my
Yeah,
favorite songs, or This Is Me, or create these playlists that actually help you feel like, inspired and a bit more motivated. Because music is very powerful. So is creativity. I mean, I could talk all day about courage and creativity and confidence and all those things that I stand for and I live by. But, like if I suppose if I could sum up, stop worrying about what other people think, believe more in yourself. And if you don't believe, just get out there and do it and then prove, not that you have to prove anything to anyone, but prove to yourself that you can do amazing things and you are far more, like I said before, far more powerful than you think you are and so much more capable. That's about digging deep beneath the layers to unravel those treasures within. That's about what I mean by rising in your greatness,
Mhm.
unraveling, digging deeper for those amazing treasures that we all have. We just
Yes.
need to acknowledge them all, find them again.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because we can see the gifts in other people so much more easier than what we can see the gifts in ourselves. So you have to be your own mirror.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the interesting thing, because when we start seeing and being proud of what we're doing,
Mm.
it's easier then to help other women with that.
Yes.
We've done it. It's like, oh my goodness, I never used to be proud of anything that I did until I ran my first event and then I ran a retreat. It's like, I can do this. And I
Mm.
just kept going. I can
Yeah.
do this. It's all going to be okay, Joe. Trusting our
Hmm.
intuition, staying focused
Yeah.
and not worrying about all that noise and all those naysayers because that's life. Not everyone's going
Yes.
to like us, not everyone's going to accept us. Some people can be quite mean. And it's like it can hurt, but it's like just
Yeah.
move on. Find your focus. Be a little bit more like uh I don't know if you're into goddesses or Athena or Artemis or keeping
Yeah.
your eye on the target. Embrace your inner queen energy. That's a funny
Yes.
thing, Christine, I have to say at the conference. It's at the Marriott. It's on the 5th and 6th of April, which is, like I said, 5.5 weeks away. And it's actually in Queen Street. And the conference is in the Queen Adelaide room.
Oh,
So it's like, let's all just embrace our inner queen
yes.
in the most positive and uplifting and empowering way. And I want women to really return home feeling more ignited,
Yeah.
feeling more aligned, and have a little bit more clarity as to where that
Mm.
gap is, to
Yeah.
really increase their overall joy and peace and happiness and fulfillment. Because even if you run a business, and we're feeling a bit flat, it'll come out in our business. If we're feeling reignited and realigned, it's going to show in our business. It'll show in our personal life and it's going to show in our business. And that's
Yeah.
why every woman is accepted at these events. You don't even have to be in business. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm very excited about it. I love, and you would know this too, when you run an event and you witness women and their energy and their faces lighting up, it's like it was worth it. All that work behind the scenes, all that, hard work, determination, passion is
Yeah.
worth it when we can witness women feeling so much more joy and happiness in their lives and feeling more motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know how much I adore you. I love what you're doing.
Thank
Before
you.
we go, I've got 5 random questions that I want to ask you that we ask our guests just to have a little bit of fun. So, look, if you get some spare time, I know that's limited. Would you prefer to curl up and read a book or watch a movie?
Oh, I love movies and books. Probably a book.
Yeah.
Probably a
Yeah.
book. It has to be a
Okay.
good book, though. If it's a bad book, I'd take the movie. But if it's a good book, the book.
Okay. And then following up from that question then is with you have like for a book, do you prefer like a Kindle or do you prefer to have a physical copy of the book?
Oh, absolutely a physical copy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love physical books. I don't think
Yeah.
I've got a Kindle. I hardly use it, even though I travel.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love physical books. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any for me personally, there's
Yeah.
just no comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If you go to your dream destination, would you prefer to travel by boat or plane?
Plain,
Yeah.
absolutely plain. I'm not a
Yeah.
boat girl so much. Even though I love the
Yeah.
water, I'd rather be
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm scared of flying, but I know I'll get
Are
there
you?
quicker. Yeah.
Ah,
So that's all right.
I
So
don't like heights. I always take the window seat, but I never look out the window as we're actually
oh
going up. So because I don't
yeah,
like heights either. But I love being on a plane because I know that I'm traveling somewhere. And it's usually to Bali or it could be some other
so good
exciting
too.
destination. But I'm
Yeah,
always excited, even if it's interstate. I'm just excited to be on a plane because it's usually for something good, a
yeah,
holiday, someone's event, a wedding. It's usually
yeah,
something exciting.
yeah. If you're going to have an amazing dinner party, now you're allowed to invite one special guest. That guest can be either from the past or from the present. Who would it be?
Oh, who came to mind straight away was Louise Hay. But you
Oh,
know what? And this is going to be a bit probably. Or maybe Mel, what's her name?
Robbins?
Mel Robbins or
Yeah,
Brene Brown. There's
yeah,
someone like that, like a significant like woman who's doing some great things out in the world, whether, like,
yeah,
yeah. Probably living would be, I reckon Mel Robbins. I reckon.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just I just love her concepts. They're quite, I love Brene too. I often quote a lot of Brene's quotes, but I think Mel.
yeah. All right, amazing. And if you can describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. One word. One word. Do I only
One
get one
word,
word?
only
God.
one word.
Oh, I'm like passionate.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. I love it. Well, we're going to drop all the links below, Joe, of how people can connect with you, how they can attend the Women's Rise conference and come and meet both of us there on the day, and how they can connect with you. Thank you so much, beautiful, for being here and sharing your gifts with us.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has watched this episode. If you have loved it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Leave your comments below. And remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.